Have you ever had a moment where you heard yourself yelling at your children and you are thinking, why am I like this? It's like these words fly out of my mouth before you even realize it. The worst part, the regret that follows. Yelling isn't about your child, it's about you. Yes, yelling is not about our children, but it is about us. Our stress, our past, our emotional triggers are what makes us yell. And until we understand what's beneath the surface, we will keep raising our voices instead of raising our emotional awareness. So join me today in this episode of the Parenting Talk Show with Coach Ayolua as we explore why you yell. Why you yell. Yelling is one of the normalized nonsense in parenting. But I want to tell you that yelling is man-made. Yes, yelling is man-made. You created yelling, yes, and you can stop it. You can stop it. So today we're exploring why you yell. Why you yell. Why you yell. So in today's episode, we are going to learn the reason behind your yelling. You will identify what it is exactly that is making you to yell. You will also be able to understand your triggers. What are those things that propel you to yell? And lastly, remember at the Model Family Focus, we don't just break the tables, we replace it with new tables. You will also be equipped with skills that you need to manage your triggers. You will learn how to manage your triggers. My name is Ayolua Adedeji. I am a family life practitioner. I'm a parenting coach. I am the founder of the Model Family Focus. At the Model Family Focus, what we do is that we equip parents, we teach parents how to parent effectively. Yes, how to raise well-rounded children without compromising discipline and respect. Without compromising discipline and respect. And every Sunday by 2 p.m., we are always here talking about parenting, exploring everything about parenting. If you are joining me for the first time, you're welcome. If you have been joining me on this show, thank you for coming back. Please don't forget to share this link, the link to this video, to this live session, to parents on your contact, to your children's teacher, your church member, your colleagues, and everyone. See, like I always say, that if every other child is not safe, your child is not also safe. So for your child to be safe, you need to equip every other influence on your child. So it is important that you invite people to join this live session as we have explored aspects upon aspects of parenting, and we are on a mission. We are on a mission. So every Sunday by 2 p.m., don't always forget to join me on my Facebook page. So today we are exploring why you yell. Why you yell. A parent's loudest voice isn't their yelling. No, it is not. Your loudest voice isn't your yelling. It is the unhealed wound that speak through you. Yes, a parent's loudest voice isn't their yell. It is the unhealed wound that speaks through them. Now let's talk about the psychology of yelling. Yes, the psychology of yelling. What does the psychology of yelling says? What is it that is about yelling? Now, most of us will think that it is our children that makes us to yell. But I'm here to tell you of a truth that your child is not responsible for yelling, for your yelling. And you need to take this responsibility. If you don't take that responsibility, you may not be able to stop yelling. Another myth that most parents say, that I hear parents say, that it is not possible to raise children without yelling. Sometimes when I make posts about yelling, or I contribute in some of the groups where I belong about yelling, that it is possible to yell. Sorry, it is possible not to yell as parents. A lot of people would disagree that no, it is not possible. My children will not listen if I didn't yell, especially when I'm preparing my children for school and all that. Yes, if your children will not respond to you, to your instructions or to your command until you yell, it is not your children's fault. It is the boundary that you have set. Yes, it is the boundaries that you have set. Children are wired to push boundaries, especially toddlers to like age 5, 6, 7, even older children. They are wired to push boundaries. They want to know their place in life. They want to know how far they can go. So if you are the yelling type and your child is pushing boundaries, and what you are doing is yelling every time, consistently, persistently, and you are yelling, you are unknowingly setting boundaries. And what does this mean? What it means is that you are conditioning your child's brain not to respond to you until you yell. Yes, you are conditioning your child's brain. The message you are sending to your child is that until I yell, I'm not talking to you. And that is why if you have successfully installed that into your child's brain, when you are calling your child, you are calling Tokwe, 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 even though the child is hearing you audibly, but the message will not go into your child's brain that your child should respond. Because as far as your child is concerned, mommy is not talking to me yet. Daddy is not talking to me yet. That is what the brain is processing. All right. So by the time you now shout, Tokwe, you see that that child will quickly respond and possibly do what you ask your child to do. It is still not your child's fault. It is because you have conditioned your child's brain not to respond to you until you yell. Until you yell. I've had parents say to me that until I beat my children, they will not answer me. Some will say, until I beat my children, until I yell at my children, they won't do their own fun, they won't do that. But I want to tell you that it is possible for your children to listen to you, to obey your instructions without yelling. We have never for once beaten our children because of home phone. We have never done that. We have never done that. So it is possible. It is not only possible for me. There are thousands of parents. Like I said earlier, that yelling is man-made. You made it. You created it. You created it. So if your child doesn't respond to you without yelling, then that means you have set that boundary. You have sent that message. You have conditioned your child's brain not to respond to you until you yell. But I have the good news. The good news is that you can stop it. You can stop it. I mean, you can stop it. If I can stop yelling, you can stop yelling. See, parenting doesn't have to be thunder and fire, style. It doesn't have to be fire and brimstone. No. You made yelling and you can stop it. You just need to be intentional. I worked on it. I worked on my emotional intelligence. I put structures in place. We put systems in place, and it has really helped us. There are things that we don't even tell our children to do that they know that they have to do. They know that they have to do. And if they refuse to do, they face the consequences. I am not the one who is misbehaving. I shouldn't take responsibility for that. See, yelling is dangerous for the yeller and the yelled at. Yes, yelling is dangerous for the yeller. You are the yeller, the parents, you are the yeller. And the yelled at, that's your children. It is not good for both of you. So you need to work on it. If you are intentional about it, you can stop yelling. And you can get your children to honor your instructions even without yelling at them. So why do you yell? Why do you yell? By the time we finish this class, you will understand. You will agree with me that your children are not the reason why you yell. And currently, I'm working on a book on yelling, breaking the cycle. Yes, breaking the cycle, the yelling cycle. I'm working on that. So let's talk about stress overload. When you are running on empty, patience also runs out. Let me take this again. When you are running on empty, patience also run out. Parenting is an emotional journey. You shall be tried. Your patience will be tested. Your patience will be tried. There's no doubt about that. Will your children get you angry? Yes, they will. Will they push boundaries? Yes, they will. Will they disobey your orders? Yes, they will. But if you are emotionally intelligent and you are intentional, you will be able to manage that situation without you yelling. So when you have stress, stress overload, most parents do, even though I have not taken I have not done an empirical research about this, but oftentimes I hear parents complaining that the most times that parents yell at their children are usually in the morning and late in the night. In the morning, when they are getting children ready to school, you have to do the school runs, have your bath, freshen up, pack food. You have a lot of activities and you are working with time so that your children will not get late to school. You will not also get late to work. And later in the evening, when you are back from work, you have laundry to take care of, you have dinner to prepare, you have office work, your children have to work, do their own fun and all that. So the peak period for yelling is usually in the morning and in the night. Why? Because of the stress overload. Stress overload. When you are running on empty, when you are empty, patience also runs out. This is one of the things I discovered about myself. And like I always say, that the first step to making a change is the point of awareness. When you are aware, you will be able to take the necessary step to do what it is that you have to do. I discovered that whenever I'm stressed, I easily act out. Yes, I easily act out. Even recently, for some time, I've really worked on my emotional intelligence, on yelling and all that. But recently, I had a change in system, the change in my structure, which puts more stress, more workload on me, more pressure on me. And I discovered that I'm beginning to relapse. Yes, I'm beginning to relapse. Any little thing, I'm there, shouting and yelling. And I have to call myself back because I am aware. I have to call myself, okay, although my workload has increased, my system has shifted, the way I work, the way I do things, there is a twist in it. how do I need to manage this? How do I need to manage this? And I really worked on it, tried to adjust and fit in to the new system and the new structure. And I'm currently getting my feet. So when you have stress overload, when you are stressed, you are fagged out, you are exhausted, you will yell. It is not about your child. When your child, do something at that point, even things that you should have joked about, because of the stress overload, you will yell. You will yell. Another thing is that control issues. Parents normally think that because we are the parents, we are in control. We should control our children. So we want to control what they do, we want to control how they talk, we want to control what they eat, we want to control who they talk to. We just want to control everything. Parenting is not about control. Parenting is not about control. Parenting is not about control. Parenting is about guidance. Until you understand this, you may not be able to stop yelling. You may not. Because when children don't listen, it triggers fear of losing control. Is it like I cannot control my children? Especially when people are around, we have this fear of they will now say, see, she can't even control her child. Enemy will come on me and all that. For those of us that are you, right, you understand what I mean. That I can't control my children. I can't, put my children on check. So it's not about that child. It's the control issue that we have. The fear of losing control. The fear of losing control. The fear of what people will say. People will say, so she cannot even go. See how our daughter is misbehaving. See how our daughter is misbehaving. Newsflash. Children are children. And children will always be children. And if we fail to allow children to be children, that will be damaging for them. Yes, adulthood is hard. So let the children enjoy their childrenhood. You agree with me that adulthood is hard. Yes, so adulthood is hard. So let the children enjoy their childhood. Don't worry, they are coming. They are coming to meet you. They will soon join the adulthood group. But while they are children, let your children feel that they are children. Let your children feel that they are children. So even when they don't listen, when they don't follow instructions, when they push boundaries, should you control them? Yes, you should. You should not leave your children to misbehave. But you shouldn't have the fear of losing control, because in the real sense of it, you are not in control. Yes, you are not in control. Yes, you are the father, you are the mother, but you are not in control, because parenting is not about control. If you see parenting as control, that you want to control your children because you are the parents, you want to dictate everything, you don't want the children to have a say, you are the president general, you are the controller of everything, the children can't even contribute, you are the one making decisions, you are the one doing everything. Can I tell you that even while your children are living with you, you will lose them. Yes, you will lose them. I know quite a number of children who are living with their parents and they are just waiting for the slightest opportunity to get out of the home. To get out of the home. They are present in the home physically, but they are emotionally far away. They are emotionally far away, unknown to their parents. Why? Because their parents taught that parenting is about control. Parenting is not about control, it's about guidance. Unresolved childhood trauma. Unresolved childhood trauma. If you are raised in a yelling home, you will yell. There's no doubt about that. If you are raised, if your parents are yellers, or even one of your parents, maybe your mom is a quiet one, but your dad is a yeller, or your dad is a quiet type and your mom is a yeller, by default, you will yell. In fact, yelling it may feel normal to you. And that is why I extend grace to parents. When I hear parents say, I cannot yell. Oh, what do you mean that we can raise children without yelling? No, my children cannot respond to me without yelling. And my parents yelled at me and I turned out to be okay. Thank God that my parents yelled at me. That's where I am. The way where I am today is because of how my parents raised me. Come off it. Come off it. Yes, your parents might have yelled at you. But for the fact that your parents yelled at you and you are yelling at your children, that cycle is continuing, it means that you didn't turn out to be okay. You didn't turn out to be okay. So that's unresolved childhood trauma. The sad thing about it is that a lot of us are traumatized and we don't even know. We don't know. We have so much been we have so much adapted to that pain. We are accustomed to that pain that it means nothing to us. It means nothing to us. And that's why some of us will say, my parents yelled at me and I turned out to be okay. If my parents yelled at me and I turned out to be who I am, so why won't I yell at my children? Why won't I yell at my children? What a dehumanizing statement. So when you have unresolved childhood trauma, whether you are aware that you are traumatized or you are not aware that you are traumatized, the fact remains that if you are a yeller, you have unresolved childhood trauma. Possibly. So you need to take note of this. Then emotional flooding. When the brain goes into overdrive, when we feel disrespected or ignored, there's a way our brain responds when we feel disrespected, when we feel that our children are ignoring us. Maybe you are telling your child is jumping on the chair and you are saying, can you stop on that can you stop jumping on that chair? You can get injured. You could fall down, or the furniture could get broken and you can get injured. Can you calm down? You say that for the first time, your child continues. You say that the second time, your child continues. If you are not really in charge of your emotions, you'll probably yell the third time. Are you deaf? Can't you hear me? How many times have I told you to stop? That's emotional flooding. There's an overdrive. Your brain goes into overdrive because you are feeling disrespected. You are feeling ignored. I'm talking to you and you are still doing what you are doing. After how many times that I've told you to stop doing this? So, emotional flooding. And the last one we'll talk about is unrealistic expectation. Unrealistic expectations. Expecting kids to act like adults leads to frustration. Like I said earlier, a child is a child. And it is okay to let a child be a child. Stop unnecessary, unrealistic expectations. Expecting children to behave like adults. I wrote it in my book, in the book I'm currently writing, Discipline Without Damage. How I was expecting my children even before they were giving birth, how I was expecting blind loyalty from them. How I was thinking that because I'm going to be their parents, when I tell them to sit, they would sit. When I tell them to stand, they will stand. When I get them to, stop what they are doing, they will stop. When we've had our first child, she was a bit calm, so I didn't really have problem. My expectation wasn't that, cut short. But when we had the second child, my expectations collided with the reality, and that was where my problem started, and that was what brought me into parenting. When my expectations collided with my reality, like some of us want a child to be in a house and we expect the house to be so organized like adults. You don't want a child to dirty the floor. You don't want a child to scatter the home. After playing, you want your child to be able to pack the toys, to be able, you just want perfection. You just want a child to be perfect. How possible is that? That is so unrealistic. Even some adults still struggle with organizations. Yes. Some adults still struggle with organization. And it is okay. It is a personality trait that needs to be worked on. So putting unrealistic expectations on children, expecting children to act like adults, and when you get to a place, you just get seated and be calm and behave well, so that people will say, oh, this one is good, this one is disciplined, in your own words. Oh, see how that child is well behaved and all that. If you place unrealistic expectations on your child, you will end up being frustrated. And when you are frustrated, you will respond. You will react. Instead of acting, you will react with yelling or physical punishment. Yes. Yelling is not about making the children to listen. It's about the fear that no one is listening to you. Did you get that point? Yelling is not about making children listen, but it's about the fear that no one is listening to you. It's about you feeling that your child is not listening to you, that your child is not obeying your instructions, that your child is not acting the way you expect him or her to behave. Yelling is not about your children. Yelling is about you. Yelling is not about our children. It is not. It's about us. We created yelling. But thank God we can stop it. All right. So let's discuss the emotional triggers. Recognizing your patterns. What are the things that triggers you? What are the things that make you yell even when you don't want to yell? What are the things that make you yell? The first thing is feeling disrespected. When your child talks back, does it feel like an attack? When you are feeling disrespected, we were raised not to question adults, right? Not to question adults, not to challenge adults. So when your child is challenging you, when you are giving instruction and your child is saying, Mommy, why? Daddy, why? You feel so disrespected. How dare you? How dare you ask me such a question? Can I tell you that your child is challenging you is not disrespectful? It's not being disrespectful. It is not. It is being aware. It means that your child is aware of him or herself, and your child wants to be in control of his own world. What you need to do is to teach your children how to challenge adults. We are not raising our children not to be able to challenge adults. No. Why? Because even the fool gets old. We were raised to believe that anything that the adult says They are right. They are always correct. There was a day my daughter was asking me, "Mommy, if my school teacher asks me to do something, and my church teacher asks me to do something, who should I obey? Who should I obey?" I said, it doesn't matter who the person is. It's about what the person is asking you to do. If anyone, whether your school teacher, your church teacher, your neighbor, your friends, a pastor, whoever the person is, if someone is asking you to do what is against our family values, you have the right to challenge the person. You just need to do it honorably. Stop teaching your children not to challenge adults, not to ask questions. You are killing their confidence. And the reason why some children were abused by trusted person and they can't even defend themselves, they can't even share, they can't even tell their parents, is because their parents has conditioned their brain, has taught them that it is wrong to challenge adults, that it is wrong for a child to talk back. No, it is not wrong. When you give instructions and your child says, why do you want me to do it? The right thing, the honorable thing is to explain why. What it means is that your child is curious and you must try in your own ability, in your own capability to satisfy your child's curiosity. If your child did it inappropriately, fine, correct your child next time. That is not how to do this. So emotional triggers, one of them is when we are feeling disrespected. Oh, this child is so disrespectful. You know, it's funny sometimes when I see adults challenging a child, that a child is not greeting them and they're saying something like, are you blind? Can't you see me? You know, something like that. That comes from the feeling of being disrespected. If I notice that a child who's supposed to greet me refuses to greet me, if it is important that I greet the child, I first greet the child. By the time I do that 2-3 times, the child would know the right thing to do. So one of the triggers is feeling disrespected. The second one is feeling unappreciated. When you feel unappreciated and you say something like, after everything I've done for you and this is how you act, it is not about your children. It is just because you are feeling unappreciated. And you know what? You are not a martyr for your child. Fine, invest on your children. Make life comfortable for your children as much as you can. Take care of your children, but not at the expense of yourself. You had a choice, and the choice was not to, you could have chosen not to have that child, but you chose to have that child. So whatever thing you do for your child, as good as they are, don't wear this feeling of you should appreciate me. Yes, you should teach your children to take responsibility, to acknowledge good gesture, but we should try as much as possible to not to allow this to trigger us to yell or to misbehave. Yes, we need to teach them to appreciate our efforts on them as parents, but we should be careful enough not to allow that. The feeling of being unappreciated, we should be conscious not to allow it to become a trigger. And the truth of the matter is, most times, when we feel our children are not appreciating us enough, it could probably mean that we are not doing what we are supposed to do. It could probably mean we are not teaching what we are supposed to teach. By now, we hardly tell our children to show appreciation when we do something, when we show them kind gesture, they have been taught. Even a day after, they know that they should show appreciation. Sometimes we would have even forgotten what, maybe we got them new pair of shoe or a dress or something. And the following day, say, Mommy, thank you for yesterday. Sometimes we have even forgotten. Daddy, thank you for yesterday. God bless you. So as much as we have to teach them to show appreciation, we shouldn't allow this to be the trigger. Then overwhelm and extortion. Like I said earlier, when you have a long day and now everywhere is messed up, boom, you switch on to yelling and say, is this children? No, is this children? Is this children that is making me to yell? And these children want to kill me. And these children, they are troublesome. No, they are just being children that they are. It is you that you have the responsibility of putting your emotion in control. Another emotional trigger is perfectionism, like I said earlier. We want our children to be perfect. We want them to be mature so fast so that they can actually act like adults. See, I have said this. I made a video about perfectionism. Perfectionism, what it does is only to set us up for frustration. Perfectionism is a myth. It can never be achieved. Perfectionism is a myth and it can never be achieved. Even as adults, it is only God who is the perfect God. So if you, the parents, if you are not perfect, how do you expect perfectionism from your children? It's not going to happen. So if you are that parent who will always want your children to be perfect, to do everything perfectly, then one of your triggers will probably be perfectionism. The fear of judgment. What will people say? What will people say? My colleague will say I'm not in charge. My colleague will say my children are spoiled. My neighbors will complain. Fear of judgment. What the society will say about us. It triggers us. When you remember how if I refuse to yell at this child, if I refuse to discipline this child, that's why some of us will even discipline our children, beat our children, slap them even publicly, openly, because of fear of being judged, so that they won't say, I'm a bad parent, so I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. So if you don't behave, what will people think of me? If I don't do what I'm supposed to do, what will people say about me? Fear of judgment. Fear of judgment. Triggers are emotional buttons. When they are pushed, we react. Not from wisdom, but from wounds. I take this again. Triggers are emotional buttons. They are buttons. They are buttons like the buttons on the wall, buttons on remote control. You know, when you press the button, what happens? There's a reaction. So for you also, triggers are emotional buttons. When they are pushed, when those buttons on you, all the triggers are said: feeling disrespected, perfectionism, feeling unappreciated, fear of judgment, overwhelming and extortion. They are triggers. When they are pushed, what happens? We react, but not from wisdom, but from wound. So how do we manage these triggers? How do we break the cycle? Now you know why you are yelling. Now you agree with me that your children are not the reason why you yell. So stop lying. It is this child that is making me to yell. It is these children. Before I worked on yelling, after yelling, I'll start panting. And probably even the child you are yelling at does not even, when you are even yelling, they are not hearing you. They can't just hear you. When you are yelling, they can't hear you. You see that their brain is has switched to flight mode or fight mode. They are not even there. They are not learning. I just seen them physically, but emotionally they are far away from you. So all the yelling, shouting and all that, they are far away, they can't hear you. And that's how you say, I have yelled, and they are not listening, and they are not doing what they are supposed to do. I am tired, though. I don't know what else to do. Your child is not the problem. Your child is not the problem. Now you know the triggers. Now you know why you are yelling. Now you know why you are who you are. So let's talk on how to manage the triggers, how to break that cycle. The pause and breathe rule. Pause and breathe. Pause and breathe. Before reacting, take 3 minutes, 3 deep breaths and interrupt the cycle. When you feel like yelling, you feel like eating, you feel like slapping. Like I said in one of my classes when we talk about effective discipline, when you feel like yelling, just take deep breath, pause and breathe. I do this a lot. Just pause, take a time back, a few minutes back, breathe, and break that cycle. If you are able to do that, you will discover that gradually the rate at which you yell will reduce, and before long gone you'll be done with yelling. But let me also tell you that yelling, it takes time to quit, because it actually took you time to get to where you are today. So don't expect that because you are now aware, because coach has told us that we can stop yelling, now I want to stop yelling. No, it's a gradual process. It is a gradual process, because you didn't become what you could become today one day. It was a gradual process unknown to you. So for you to stop yelling, you need to take time. You just need to be intentional. But it is possible. So when you feel like yelling, just pause and take a deep breath. Sometimes ago, before this term ended, as son came back from school, as we were coming from school, I asked them, who made you angry today? And he was sharing what happened to me in school. And he mentioned one of his classmates. He said, he made me, I feel angry with what he did to me today. I said, really? What happened? He narrated what happened. He said, I felt so angry that I felt like eating him. I felt like punching him. But I just remembered that mommy told us that when we are angry and we want to, thank you, Daddy Bala. Thank you for joining me. Thank you very much, sir. You're welcome. I recognize you. And he said, I just remembered that mommy said when we are angry and we feel like slapping or eating someone, we should take a deep breath and count 1 to 10. As I remember, I started counting 1, 2, 3, 4. And before I counted 1 to 10. I started smiling. That is a child who is emotionally intelligent, who has been equipped with the necessary skills to pause before reacting. Our son is just 5 years old, going on 6. 5 years, going on 6. And he has mastered this skill. And I was so happy. We were so excited. And we celebrated that. That's a big win for us. For a child to be able to put his or her emotions, his or her feelings under control. Many adults cannot do this. Yes. Many adults cannot do it. It was a big win for us. And we celebrated him. We encouraged him. And we told him that we are proud of him. That he should keep that up. So for you to manage your triggers, you need to learn how to pause and breathe. Pause and breathe. Pause and breathe. Then you need to reset your expectations. Like I said earlier, that one of the triggers is unrealistic expectations. When you are expecting a child to behave like an adult, It's not going to happen. When your child is behaving like an adult, you should worry. Yes. If your child is behaving like an adult, you should worry because there's actually a problem. There's actually a problem. There are things that need to happen. There are stages in development. There are things that need to happen for healthy development of a child. So you need to reset your expectations. What is it? What are you expecting from your children? Are they realistic? Are they age appropriate? Lower unrealistic expectations. That's why I keep saying that for every parent, we need to understand child psychology, how children develop, how the brain develop. When we understand this, we will understand how to discipline or how to react to our children's action effectively, positively. So you need to reset your expectations to manage your triggers. Sit down. What are your expectations? What are you expecting your children to do? Is it in their capability to do that? What are you expecting them to do? Have you equipped them with the necessary skills that they need? Parenting is about teaching. Don't think that your children will just wake up and be a perfect, become a perfect child who will do things right as you expected. No. Parenting is a lot of work. If you are not ready to put in the work, you are not going to get the results. Yes. And that's what we do at the Modern Family Focus. We equip parents with the skills that they need to raise well-rounded children. Well-rounded children without damaging themselves and without damaging their children's spirits. That's what we do. If you're a parent in this era and you don't belong to a parenting community like this, you don't read books, you don't take courses on parenting, you are parenting in error. You are parenting in error. I've said this over and over and over again. Even as a parenting coach, as a parenting expert, I still take courses on parenting. Yes, I still read books. I still keep learning. Why? Because parenting, intentional parenting is a journey. It is a journey. It is not a destination. We keep learning. Recently, something happened in our home, and we are like, it's like that. There are some things that we have not put in place, that we have not taught our children, that we have not done, and we are back on our table. What is it that we still have to do? What do we still need to do? What skills do we still have to instill in our children? So parenting is ongoing. It's an ongoing journey. You keep learning. You keep relearning. You keep unlearning. I made a post recently during this week. When people meet our children, I normally hear comments like, "Oh, your children are God bless you with wonderful children. Your children are good children. Your children are this. Your children are that." And when I hear such comments, I smile. Because what they are seeing is a result of unlearning, relearning, and learning. It's as a result of reflecting over and over again. It's as a result of hard work, putting in the work. So you need to reset your expectations. Yes. Reset your expectations. Children aren't little adults. So lower their expectations. Lower your expectations. All right. Name it to tame it. Name it to tame it. If you are not emotionally intelligent, I can tell you for free, you will yell till the end of the day. You are going to yell till the end of the day. Emotional intelligence will teach you to name your feelings, to name your emotions, and to be responsible. My child makes me angry. It's a lie. You are not responsible with your emotions. You could have chosen. You can make that choice not to be angry. Not to be angry. So stop saying my child makes me. It's my child that made me angry. My child makes me to beat him or her. It is not your child. It is you. It is you. So you need to be emotionally intelligent. You need to take responsibility for your feelings. If you're able to take responsibility for your feelings, then you will be able to parent without yelling. You'll be able to parent without yelling. When you take responsibility for how you are feeling, instead of saying, I feel disrespected, instead of saying, you are so rude, you are disrespecting me, say, I feel disrespected. You can also choose. You can choose. That is emotional intelligence. Is that an easy task? Of course, no, it is not. But we are intentional people. Once we are intentional and we put in the work, it is achievable. So you should be able to name your feelings. If you cannot name your feelings, you cannot tame your feelings. Yes. A lot of us don't know when we are angry. We don't know the difference between being angry and being sad and being frustrated and being lonely, and being disappointed. We don't know the difference. You need to know. If you have to take a course, we run emotional intelligence course at the Model Family Focus. Yes, if you have to run the course, please do. It will help you. It did that for me. I took an emotional intelligence course and I still take now. So you have to be able to name your feelings. When you're angry, you know that you're angry. I think I shared last week live session how our children came back from school one Friday, and 15 minutes after they came, they turned everywhere upside down. Mind you, we have daily routine that they are aware of. They know what to do when they are awake. They know what to do one after the other. They know where to keep their lunch bag. They know where to keep their school bag. And they came in this Friday and they scattered everywhere. They just turned the house upside down. And I was like, but you shouldn't do this. It was just as if I was speaking Spanish. They didn't even answer me. And I had a lot of things on my neck to do. I had things to fix that day. And I became angry. But because I have really worked on my emotions, and I'm still doing so, I could easily identify, I could easily label that I'm angry. And I told them, I need some time. One of them asked, Mommy, are you angry? I said, yes, I am angry. But I need time to process my feelings. And I left them in the living room. I went to the bedroom. I picked my phone. I did one or two things that I had to do. And by the time I came back, they have put things in order. I didn't even yell. They have put this in order. And they were asking me, Mommy, are you now okay? Yes, I'm okay. Thank you. So you need to be able to name your feelings, name your emotions, name your triggers, identify your triggers. When you are able to do that, you'll be able to manage your triggers. You'll be able to break that cycle of yelling. That cycle of yelling that was passed to us from our parents. We'll be able to break that cycle. That is very important. Another way to manage your trigger is self-care. Like I mentioned, that one of our triggers is stress, work overload. You wake up early in the morning, get the children ready to school, you prepare breakfast, you are on your way to work, after work, maybe you have to stop at the supermarket to shop to get one or two things, you are coming home with office work, you came back home, you have to fix dinner, you have laundry, and all that without resting. You will get fagged out. A burnt out parent is an impatient parent. A burnt out parent is an impatient parent. If you are burnt out, you cannot parent from oldness. You will yell, even for things that you shouldn't yell at. You will discipline Ashley because of minimal things that you can't even handle. That you can handle. Self-care is not selfishness. Self-care is not selfishness. And if you are the type that always want to get things done by yourself, you still have a long way to go. I used to be like that. You know, when they do things, I'm not satisfied. They wash, oh, it's not clean. They sweep, hey, you can't do this. You don't know how to do this. You are not, you will get fucked up. You will get burnt out. You will get stressed. And you will misbehave. Yes. You will misbehave. You will not be able to teach what you're supposed to teach. And you will discipline Ashley. You will discipline your children, Ashley. And they won't learn. Self-care is not selfishness. You are somebody before you become a parent. You are somebody. Yes. Take your time away from parenting. Do what you enjoy. If it is watching movie, if it is going out with friends, if it is reading books, going on a date, you know, just take a break. Just take a break to refresh. Just take a break. Take a break. And by the time you return, you will get refreshed. Sometimes in the evening, I and my husband, we just leave the children and just stroll. You know, just take fresh air, just stroll. Just take ourselves away from, you know, the parenting scene and all that. We were like this before we have children. If you don't prioritize your self-care, you won't be able to parent from the place of wholeness. And if you can't parent from the place of wholeness, what it means is that you can't be an effective parent. You can't be an effective parent. Schedule time, me time. Have your me time. Time to yourself. Time to do what you enjoy. Time to read, if that's what you enjoy doing. Time to, if it is sleep, yes. Sometimes I tell my children, please, I need to have a nap. Can you excuse me? 15, 20 minutes. I'm okay. You have to be intentional. You have to be intentional. Your parents need you to be whole. Yes. They need you to be okay. You need to be okay for your children and your family to be okay. If you are not okay, your children cannot be okay. Take that and no peace. So self-care is not selfishness. It is being aware and it is being responsible. It means you are responsible. Even your children need to know. You need to model to your children that it is important to take care of yourself. That it is important to take care of yourself. Let them learn that it is their responsibility to take care of themselves, no matter what. No matter every activity. And it doesn't have to take time. Most times the complaint I hear is that, there is no time, you know, I have to go to work, you know, I have to do this, there is no time. All of us have that 24 hours. No one is going to have extra 24 hours. That is why you need to learn time management. Don't worry. One of the live sessions, we'll talk about parental stress management, how to manage stress. And another time, we'll talk about how to manage time. If you don't manage your time, you will get worked out. And when you get worked out, you will not be able to parent effectively. Take your time. As a family, we have a routine. We have time where we bond as a family. We bond as a family. Myself and my husband, we have our time where we excuse ourselves for from the parenting drama. We can't always control our children's behavior, but we can control our responses. Did you get that? Let me say it again. We can't always control our children's behavior, but we can control our responses. You cannot control your children's behavior always. Yes, maybe to some extent, if you put some structures in place. But can I tell you that even with structures, sometimes your children will still misbehave. That is why they are children. Like I said earlier, they are wired to push boundaries. Sometimes because of their personality, because of who they are. That is why I keep telling you, if you are parenting and you have not run your parenting diagnosis assessments at the Mother Family Focus, you are missing out, because you will not know who you are. You will not know who your child is. You will not know your child's strengths and your child weaknesses. You will not know how your own personality can influence your child's personality. You will not know. That's what our parenting diagnosis assessment will do to you. It will show you who you are, who your children are, their personality, your children's strength, your children's weakness, what you need to do to them, what you need not to do. Sometimes when your children or when your child is doing something, if you are aware, if you have run your our parenting assessment, you will know why. You will understand the reason why your child is behaving the way. And when you understand the why, you will be equipped. You will know how to deal with the behavior, how to deal with the situation. There's some behaviors that when we want to correct in our children, we don't even need to talk. Yes, you can correct your children's behavior even without talking. Even without talking. Our play therapy course is coming up soon. And in that course, you will learn how to correct your children's behavior with play. With play. Play therapy. With play. You are playing, you are playing with your child, and your child is learning. You are correcting your child's behavior. You are instilling values, structures in your children. So you can't always control your children's behavior. You can't always, but you can control your responses, because you are responsible for your response. You have a choice. You can choose not to respond in a certain way if you are intentional and you are emotionally intelligent. Parenting is emotional, but every time you choose to pause instead of react, you teach your child that emotions don't have to control him or her. You are not just raising a child, you are raising the next generation. You are not just raising a child. He's a child. My child. No. You are raising future generation. You are raising someone's father. You are raising someone's mother. You are raising some people's boss. Watch it. Be careful. It is an emotional journey. Your emotions will be tested, will be proved. There are times that you will even feel, that what else do I need to do? Yes, there are times, sometimes we get to that point. Currently, like I said earlier, there's a situation now that we have to go back to our drawing board, because we can see skill deficits in our children. And we need to sit down, work it out, and equip them, because these are the skills that they need for throughout their lifetime. And these are skills that are not taught in school. They are taught in the home by the parents. So every time you choose to pause instead of react, you are teaching your child that emotions shouldn't control your child. That your child should be in charge of his or her emotions. That your child should be in charge of his or her emotion. Remember that in parenting, modeling is huge. I've said this and I'm going to continue to say it, because it is the truth. That if you can model what you want to see in your children, 70% of your job is done. Yes. If you can model what you want to see, you want your children to be respectful. You talk to them with respect. You model respect. When you talk to people, they see you talk to people respectfully. You don't need to call them to see them and say, I'm the parent, respect me. No. By default, they will learn from you. They will learn. our baby is 2 years going on to 3 years. We have never taught him to say sorry. Come, say sorry. But anytime he did something wrong, even before asking him, say sorry. Sorry, ma. Sorry, sir. Why? Because we have been doing that to him. If we do something wrong or we mistakenly do something, we are quick to say sorry. We admit our fault and we say sorry. In parenting, modeling is huge. If you are that parent who is teaching something and you are behaving another, you are doing another thing, just know that you are raising confused children. You are raising confused children. Modeling is huge. My friend, Johnson Ayadi, you're welcome. Thank you for joining me. Modeling is huge in parenting. If you can model what you want to see in your children, 70% of your job as a parent is done. 70% is done. So take note of that. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and you cannot parent from unhealed wound, from unhealed hearts. So prioritize your healing. If you need to take trauma healing courses, please do. We run trauma recovery course at the Model Family Focus. When the course registration is on, please do well to register. It will help you. If you are empty, you cannot parent effectively. Thank you, my friend. You cannot parent effectively. You cannot pour from empty cup. You can't give what you don't have. You can't give what you don't have. If you are wounded, you have unhealed wound. There's something we call healing the inner child at the Model Family Focus. Healing the inner child wound. You know, there's some wounds that are deep-seated in us. Some we are not even aware. And for people who have taken these courses, some you will see them, you know, shedding tears. You know, this course will take you back to your childhood and you will see yourself. You will see the younger version of yourself. And at that point, most people will be able to identify what has gone wrong with them. They are wounded, you know, their wounds and all that, and we guide them through recovery process. If you have unresolved wound, unhealed heart, you cannot stop yelling, no matter how you try. You cannot. You will keep trying and you'll be relapsing. You keep trying and you'll be relapsing. Today you'll be able to control yourself not to yell. Tomorrow you will yell back. Tomorrow next time you will, you know, control yourself. The other time you will relapse and you get frustrated. And that's when you say all this thing that coach is saying is not working. Don't mind them, it's lie. They are just lying. It's not working. It's not possible. If I can stop yelling, you can stop yelling. So a child who sees their parents ill learns that change is possible. You know, when I hear some parents say, my children is asking me, Mommy, are you okay? You are no longer yelling. Yes, it is because you are now in control. It is because you are now emotionally aware and you are emotionally intelligent. So I'm sure now you know that your children are not the reason why you yell. Your children are not responsible for your yelling. You created it. Yelling is man-made. You can get your children ready for school without yelling. You can correct your children without yelling. It is possible. It is possible. Once again, my name is Ayolua Adedeji, and this is the Parenting Talk Show with Coach Ayolua. What is it that you are leaving this session with? Please go into the comment section and let me hear you. And if you have any topic you want me to address on parenting, please feel free to contact me. Please don't forget to share the link to this live session to parents on your contact, to your colleagues, to your neighbors, to everyone that you know who is parenting. See, we need to change the narrative of parenting. Parenting is not an intuition. It's not intuitive. It is a learned skill and will lead to learn. And that is why we have created this platform for us to learn. All you need to do is to pay attention. It is only your attention that is needed. Watch out for our play therapy course that is coming up. Watch out for my book, my upcoming book, Discipline Without Damage. They are going to be life-changing. They will totally change your perception about parenting. Every Sunday by 2 p.m., join me here on my Facebook Live as we explore what is it about parenting. Until next time, keep parenting with intention.